Yeah. Can you hear me? Hi, Ben. Why aren't you talking?
Yo.
Yeah. I've been talking to you for like 5 minutes.
What?
I've been talking to you for like 5 minutes. He's quit ignoring me. You know what can't be ignored? 49ers success this season. Niners. Woo!
I love Jess's comment. Are you on the practice? Are you on the practice squad yet?
Turn that Seahawks hat around because it's a disgrace. No, keep it the other way.
Tip. Hold on. I do like that hat.
Thank you.
Shanahan's got swag.
He does.
Almost as nice as Pete Carroll's shoes.
Pretty close.
Are we recording?
Yeah, of course. This is where we get our funniest banter.
You on the practice squad yet?
No, not yet. Brandon Ayuka is making his way back, so they cut me yesterday on my way to Santa Clara.
Did you show up at the Santa Clara Marriott with like a bag, some gloves, throw out a jugs machine, start making some catches? You're on the team in no time.
I agree.
Who they got week 1?
Cardinals. That's why I was all over Jess Root.
I'm starting Kyler Murray. I got Kyler on my team.
Well, you should start him. What round did you get him in?
6th.
Ooh, that's a good one. PPR, regular league?
Regular. So I went heavy running back. James Conner, Gurley, Josh Jacobs, Noah Fant, Keenan Allen.
Wait, the Niner game might be postponed with all these fires.
No.
Check out like Bay Area, orange sky, smoke everywhere.
So they're no longer COVID masks, they're smoke masks. Dual purpose. They are. That's what I was going to ask. They're staying in Greenbrier? In West Virginia? Why?
Wait, that's when they play the
because
Jets.
They play back to black. They play the Jets and then the Giants. They're staying in West Virginia, the Greenbrier. It does look pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, the game might be canceled on Sunday due to smoke in the air.
No.
Are there? I said there's wild. All my friends in the Bay Area say the smoke's pretty bad outside.
Well, it is orange.
I don't know. Okay, Boogie.
Hey, what's up, boys?
How are the fires up north?
Not great, for sure. But dealing with it. It's not near me yet, which I feel very fortunate about.
It's good to hear.
Is the sky orange?
You guys staying safe? There we go.
Yeah, I just don't go outside.
I'm down in Los Angeles, but the fires aren't over by me. You can kind of see in the distance, like the smoke and all that, but I'm safe.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Bugs, how you been?
Decent. Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my room is a mess right now in my office, so I'm trying to get my setup correct here. What's the best way to do this? Like that. That's it. Okay, there we go. All right. All right.
I was gonna say, take your time. That's how all our listeners judge people is how their setup looks in the background. As you can see, I got the standard like TJ Maxx paintings.
I love that. Well, nothing wrong with TJ Maxx, bro. I do all my shopping there.
Oh, wide receiver depth, K Boogie.
Oof. Are you guys gonna play some receiver for the Niners, or like what's the deal?
We were on.
No, I wanted to purposely ask who's the guy who runs the 5.2 40 but can't be tackled.
Has Juwan Jennings?
Yes. Does he have a shot?
He's on the practice squad for sure, and I'm guessing if they were going to elevate somebody, it would be him instead of Kevin White. But I don't know exactly what the plan is at receiver. If you're going to have to go into a game without two of your top, 3 or 4 receivers, we don't know exactly about Ayuk yet. But without at least your top receiver in Deebo Samuel, I'm not sure there's a coach you'd rather want than Kyle Shanahan to kind of scheme around that for a game. The bigger deal is having that not last into like October where they're dealing with injuries at that spot.
On that note, could you see him go 2-man sets or 2 tight end sets with Reed and Kittle a little more in that first game?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll probably want to ease Reed into work the same way they did with him in practice. But I expect to see a lot of multi-tight end stuff. This is assuming Ayuk and Samuel aren't playing, and since they didn't practice Wednesday, that's the assumption I'm going to go with for now. So I think one of the ways you do offset that is a lot of multiple tight end stuff. That way they pass so well out of those 2 tight end sets, and I assume they would pass even better with Jordan Reed in there, that it gives them a versatility that helps them overcome a lack of maybe talent at receiver, or a lack of top end talent, I should say. Like Kendrick Bourne, I think is a really good player, but if he's your number 1 guy, I think you're not in a great spot.
You're in trouble.
Is this going to be like the Green Bay playoff game where Jimmy doesn't throw it for 3 quarters and just hands off the ball every single time?
That me?
Oh,
no. All right. We got you back now. We did.
Maybe. Blame the smoke. Again. The smoke's still on the internet. The smoke's still on the internet.
All right, we got you back.
I'm going to shut some windows here that I don't need. Not literal windows. My windows have been closed for like a week. There we go. All right. Closing. I don't need that. I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm just closing tabs. Here we go. All right. So, yeah, I don't think Arizona's defense is very good. And I think that you can run the ball effectively against them. It's worth noting that Garoppolo kind of lit them up last year. That was with a full complement of receivers, though. He had Deebo Samuel, he had Emmanuel Sanders. George Kittle in the first game got hurt on the first play, but he still kind of played through it. It was Ross Dwelly who had the big catch at the end of the game, if you'll remember, because Kittle had taken himself out. So I think if there's going to be a game where the Niners are going to miss their top 2 receivers, this is one where they can survive. Arizona is going to put up points, but I think the Niners will be able to put up points too with the assets they have.
Kyle, any surprises in the 53-man roster, whether cuts or keeps?
No. It's the first time I've ever seen, because I've been doing 53-man roster stuff. I started with USA Today doing Titans Wire before the 2017 season. And I've never seen such a consensus on 53-man roster projections as I have with the Niners this year. Like usually there's 2 or 3 positions per team where there's 1 or 2 players that may or may not make it. And it's all these guys. I didn't even do a roster bubble post this year because it was just not like somebody, Doug Farrar, one of our writers at the NFL Wire, he was doing a whole post about a guy who is a veteran who might not make each team. And it was just like, man, I don't have anything for you. Like, I don't think there's going to be any surprises. Deion Jordan was the one. I got one player wrong. It was Deion Jordan. I thought he would make it, but solely because of numbers. It wasn't because I heard he was playing really well or anything. So It was, no surprises, not even surprises on the practice squad. Like, it was just kind of, they've set themselves up for continuity. And I think we kind of saw that.
With no real extended, you can't really call anyone a darling during the preseason this year, as there wasn't one. Who on the practice squad could COVID injuries elevate and see an impact during the season?
Jauan Jennings, I think, is a guy to watch for. I'm super interested to see what he looks like on an NFL football field, because the speed is so different than it is in college. And you can get away, I think, with being a receiver who's big and physical and running a 4.7 40. I think you can get away with that in college. I don't think you can consistently get away with it in the NFL. So the Niners would have to scheme him up in ways it's not typical receiver stuff. It would probably be a lot of work out of the slot. It would probably be a lot of, screens and quick throws and stuff where he's not needing long speed, where he can catch and then work with the ball in his hands. He took some wildcat snaps at Tennessee because he was a high school quarterback. I don't think the Niners would do anything that drastic, but yeah, Jauan Jennings is a guy I'm looking at for sure. Another important practice squad guy might wind up being Dante Johnson if Jason Verrett gets hurt. He's already out of practice with a hamstring injury that he's been dealing with. So, those are the two guys that, and then Deion Jordan too, just because they're so short on defensive ends. JaMycal Hasty, the running back from Baylor, maybe as well. He had a good camp, and my theory is that had there been preseason games where Hasty could kind of show what he could do, he might have made the team over Jeff Wilson. But teams don't have any tape on JaMycal Hasty, and nobody drafted him. Like, there's a reason he went undrafted, and the Niners were confident he would get through waivers. So it would not shock me if he winds up on the 53 man at some point.
So this guy's on the 53-man roster. Kinlaw, what have you been hearing about him so far in training camp?
Remember with Nick Bosa, like day one, it was like, oh shit, like this guy can play. That's not been the case with Kinlaw. When every thing that came out about him was how big he is and nothing about what he was doing on the field, that was kind of a red flag for me. But he's been going up against Laken Tomlinson, who I've heard has been awesome in camp. And Kinlaw is a couple of things. One, he didn't have any off-season work with the team. He didn't have rookie mini camps. He didn't have OTAs. He didn't have regular mini camp. He had none of that. So he's behind the curve developmentally anyways. And he's now transitioning. Not only does he have that college to pro transition to make, but he lined up at South Carolina. He was a nose tackle a lot, where he just lined up over the center and then just bullied the center. And that was his kind of go-to move. When you watch him, it's crazy how many plays he just carries an offensive lineman in the backfield. And that's great in college. Greg McElroy, I produce a radio show out here in San Francisco, and Greg McElroy, we had him on before the draft, and he was talking about Javon Kinlaw and how he's never seen one player take over a game the way he did when they beat Georgia. That was a really good Georgia team with a really good offensive line, and Kinlaw just kind of single-handedly beat them. And I think there's an adjustment for him, not only adjusting to the size and speed and strength of NFL players, but also like having to hone moves and figure out counter moves when he's pass rushing. So I think he's going to be a run stopper early. I don't think he's going to be a disaster. Like the picture got painted because he wasn't Nick Bosa day one, that this is going to be a disastrous pick. He's not going to be DeForest Buckner, but I don't think that was the expectation. He might get there eventually, but I think early on we see him as part of just like a regular rotation of guys inside.
Offensive side of the ball, how's Jerick McKinnon after the injury from last year? Are we 3 deep again for the Niners at running back?
I'm a big Jerick McKinnon guy, and I have been since they signed him. Like, they gave him 4 years, $37 million, I think it was. I forget the exact numbers, with like 11.5 guaranteed or 14.5 guaranteed, whatever it was. They gave him a lot of money, and they did it because they thought he was going to be the focal point of their offense. Like, he was going to be the guy. There wasn't a plan to have 3 or 4 different running backs. Like, he was going to be their guy. He was going to split out wide, and he was going to catch passes. And He's a really good route runner. He's not just like he can float out of the backfield. Like you can literally split him out wide and he can beat a defensive back. And that's a big deal for an offense that thrives on unpredictability and bucking trends and to have a player like McKinnon who you can hand the ball off to, but then on the next play with the same personnel group out there, you can go 5 wide with him.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So I'm cautiously optimistic about him contributing in a big way this year, just because, I mean, he's coming off 2 major knee injuries. You need to see him play first, but he's as healthy as he's been. He had a good camp from what I heard. And I said this last night on Candlestick Chronicles on my podcast. It wouldn't shock me if he winds up being like if Raheem Mostert's the number 1 back. It wouldn't surprise me if McKinnon by the end of the year is the number 2.
All right, Big Ben and K-Wen talking to Kyle Madsen of the 49ers beat writer. Second time on. We appreciate you coming on, Kyle. A couple more questions for you as we break down the Niners. Let's assume 45 to 50 touches, runs for the Niners. Give me the breakdown on between McKinnon, Mostert, and
please tell me Coleman, because I drafted him in my today.
Hey, for what okay, this will tell you something. I avoided Tevin Coleman at all costs. I don't trust him. So touches or carries?
Carries.
If they have 45 carries, I don't think Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to be active. So 0 for him. Give me 4 for McKinnon. What am I at? 41 left. Give me, oh man, maybe more. Math is not my thing, dude. I was a mass communications and journalism major because they were like, yeah, you don't got to take math. I was like, I'm in that one. Let's see. Give me because the thing is I don't think Raheem Mostert, I don't think they're going to shift toward one guy gets 25 or 30 of the 45 carries. I don't think that's the way that's not something that's been a feature, not a bug, right. That's not. So I think in a scenario where they're running the ball 45 times, I think it's like something like 23 for Mostert and 15 for McKinnon, or for Coleman, and 7 for McKinnon. Gotcha. I think it's that kind of breakdown, but I do expect Raheem Mostert to lead the team in carries this year by a decent margin. That was 45, right? 23.
Don't worry, our intern will get that corrected.
38 plus 9. Yeah, that's definitely 45.
We'll round up or round down. What's the
What's
latest on Debo's injury?
He didn't practice again. The fact that so
a foot injury scare you?
Yeah, right. It's a Jones fracture in his foot, which is potentially pretty scary because you saw Trent Taylor last year. Trent Taylor, when he got hurt, they announced it during the first preseason game, and Trent Taylor went on Twitter and was like, "I'm missing 2 games max. I'm fine." And then he has surgery. It goes wrong. And then he has surgery for that. And there's something else. He had like 5 surgeries for this one thing. Now, Samuel, the surgery appeared to go well. He was activated off the non-football injury list. So even if he misses this game, they expect him back relatively soon, because if he had been on the NFI, he would have had to miss 6 weeks before his practice window could open. So even if he misses week 1, I think that speaks to their confidence that he is not only close to healthy, but will also be able to contribute relatively soon. It's also not something that I think they're going to rush. I don't think they're going to bring him back week 1 just to have him on the field. If they think that bringing him back week 2 or 3 means he's going to be able to play the rest of the 14 or 15 games, then I think that they'll wait. They're going to be conservative with it because, like you said, a foot injury is really scary, especially for a receiver who's as explosive and as physical as he is. Mm-hmm. That's something that you could really easily, I'm not a doctor, but it makes sense that it would be easy to re-aggravate. So I don't think, because he didn't practice on Wednesday, I don't think he's probably going to practice or play this week. But I mean, we'll see. If he's limited Thursday and limited Friday, it'd probably make him questionable for Sunday, and maybe he goes, maybe he doesn't. But if he does play, I don't think we're going to see a full 100% version of Debo.
You wake up pretty happy knowing I guess you didn't wake up, but 2 hours ago they announced that Fred Warner's no longer on the COVID list. That had to make Niners fans happy. On the defensive side of the ball, if there's any losses on that side, who are the most vital portions of the defense that you can't lose to either COVID or injury this year in your mind?
Yeah, them getting Fred Warner back is a big deal. I mean, if he's out, Azeez Al-Shaair is probably in, and I'm assuming would move, like, I don't even know who they would move to the Mike spot, but either way, they're going to run a lot of nickel against the Cardinals. So it was just going to be Greenlaw and Quan Alexander out there anyways. So it wouldn't have been this massive, huge loss for the Niners in the Cardinal game. But anyways, they're going to be better with Fred Warner on the field, bottom line. Nick Bosa, just because they've constructed their entire defense around the pass rush, that's the one. I think that if Sherman goes down for a couple games, like Ahkello Witherspoon is fine. Mm-hmm. You're probably not. I mean, you're losing a lot. Richard Sherman's a way better player than Ahkello Witherspoon, but I think you can survive. If one of the three linebackers goes down, you can survive that. Jaquiski Tartt's another sneaky one that would be a tough loss because Marcel Harris is just not as good of a player, and teams pick on him. Like the Saints went right at him in week 14 last year. So I think that's something that the Niners will worry about if Tartt goes out. But for me, it's Nick Bosa. That's the one area. Like they're not deep at defensive end. He is by far their best defensive player. He is the engine that makes their pass rush go, and their pass rush is the engine that makes their defense go. So he's the guy that if he goes down for any extended period of time, they might be in trouble.
You got your Jimmy Ward jersey?
No, not yet. Not yet. Hey, 3-year deal though. Me and Chris Biederman on Jimmy Ward Island. We're very happy with ourselves.
Are the Niners 4-0 after week 4 against the Eagles?
No. No. I just could super see them losing week 1, and and not because I think the Cardinals are going to be better than the Niners or the Cardinals are going to win the division or anything, but the Niners have the Super Bowl hangover aspect. The Cardinals have DeAndre Hopkins now, and they played them like it's just a matchup thing. The Niners don't do well with these super mobile quarterbacks, and I think Kyler Murray is going to be even better in year 2. And now they have DeAndre Hopkins, and I could see a scenario where the Cardinals win like 38-34 or something like that, where they have the ball last and they score last and that's it. So if I'm betting, I say no because winning 4 games in a row is difficult. But if they do win week 1, I think they cruise through their New York trip, and I do think they beat the Eagles too because the Eagles are so beat up on the offensive line.
Yeah. Why the Greenbrier?
I don't know, man.
Why are they staying in West Virginia?
Probably to minimize the amount of travel they have to do. Like they stay out of Florida, which, is like a COVID hotspot there. It's not a place where they're going to want to go. I don't know that area of the country well at all. My guess is the Greenbrier is like
this is the first time I've ever heard of Greenbrier.
Same.
The first time I looked it up, I was wondering where they were going to stay. I thought it was like Hoboken or Times Square or somewhere.
So I'm guessing, I haven't looked it up, and I'm sure somebody listening can correct me, but my guess is it's pretty secluded, which is what you want when you're trying to not, jump into a pandemic. So
when you're trying to keep Bosa healthy.
Yeah, exactly. They're the 49ers. Like they probably, I don't know if they've rented out the whole place, but I'm guessing they damn near rented out the whole place.
There's no clubs in West Virginia.
Just like, hey, we're going to stay there for 5 nights. Here's some money. Like,
keep the card open.
It's like 5,000 or 15,000 acres or something insane like that. Like there's plenty of room to practice and frolic, and there's like 9 golf courses.
There is.
A little golf.
Put it on my tab.
Incredible.
All right, little fun. First play from scrimmage.
Now we're gonna have fun. Okay, good. Because I've been miserable to this point.
Pulling teeth. We got 4 cavities. Root canal.
I might.
First play from scrimmage. What is Shanahan drawing up?
Outside zone to Raheem Mostert.
Nice.
They might do something. They might do like a weird play action where that play they ran. Here's a good one. This is a good one. This is a really good one. Fuck yeah, I'm so happy I thought of this. That play they ran against the Bengals where Marquise Goodwin had the long touchdown where Jimmy goes play action, he rolls right and then stops and then throws back left, and Marquise Goodwin was all by himself. That play, but Trent Taylor. Where Taylor, he's small, they line up trips on the right side, and then he just kind of gets lost in the shuffle, weaving his way back up that to the opposite sideline. And so while the defense is flowing the one way, you got tiny. Yeah, exactly. So that's if it's not an outside zone or Raheem Mostert, I think that's the play.
Pretty sure I saw a prop bet just like that.
No.
Hey, here's a real thing. If that happens, I need this video cut and posted. Take out the part where I said the F word, though.
We'll put it on even if it's an outside zone to Mostert.
Okay, cool.
Nailed it. What's the game day routine this year?
I haven't quite figured that out yet. I know on Sunday, my girlfriend and I are going over to my mom's house. My mom's
tailgating?
Yeah, home tailgating for sure. So we'll go over there and hang out and all work, and they'll watch the game. And I'm guessing that'll probably be the pretty regular routine. It's just kind of game days are a lot of work when you're blogging and writing about everything. So it's just kind of trying to space out the work and make it as fun as possible. So, glasses of wine or beer or whatever, and just trying to enjoy it. I don't plan on wearing like pants. It's one of the goals is to just not put on. You say what?
Bird dogs?
No, I'm not that fancy. I go MeUndies actually. It's great. Sponsor the pod, MeUndies. I have like 25 pairs.
No,
they're great. I swear.
They're that comfortable?
They're that good?
Yeah, dude, they're the best. I'm serious. They're the best underwears I've ever worn. Underwear I've ever worn.
Tommy John
Tommy John might be great too. I don't know. I'm not here to disparage other underwear. I just really like MeUndies.
What's the fantasy football team name?
Are you kidding me?
That's good.
And did you draft him then?
I did not. No. Well, so I have this theory that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a really valuable fantasy asset this year because you can get him in like round like 12 or 13. And so I did that. And then I had already drafted Raheem Mostert because I tried this 0 RB thing where you just load up on receivers and a tight end early and then just kind of pick through the running backs that are left because top end running back production is so hard to project. And so getting a guy who's maybe like a 1B or a guy who's a backup and just hoping that, he plays his way into more carries than he's projected or more touches than he's projected. And Raheem Mostert was just kind of sitting there in like the 7th or 8th round. And so I scooped him up, and then I had Garoppolo. And it was just like, what? I look like a homer right now. I took Debo. It was like, I look like a homer right now. So I can't take another one.
Well, Tevin Coleman's probably still open on your waiver wire if you want to grab him too.
He might, he might be. I would rather have Brandon Ayuk than Tevin Coleman.
All right. What other storyline should we follow for the season?
Jimmy Garoppolo is the storyline for me just because it's, I don't want to say make or break for him, but if he has a season where he's throwing for like 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and then the Niners are winning like 11 or 12 games and they're winning the NFC West, like he's an MVP candidate. On the other hand, if he's just barely touching 4,000 yards and they're very clearly like limiting his workload still, and he's still throwing the ball at the other team, like now there's questions long-term about the Niners' future under center. So it's a huge year. Jimmy Garoppolo is the guy I'm watching the closest. The other storyline I'm really intrigued to follow is Fred Warner's rise. Is he ever going to be that kind of all-pro, like consensus top 3 linebacker in the league? Or is he always going to be that guy that Niner fans all know about and maybe, the hardcore NFL fan knows about, but the general football fan doesn't really know who Fred Warner is, and maybe he makes a Pro Bowl or two. I'm looking for him to make that jump though to like all pro status this year. And then Richard Sherman, is it his last season? That's another question. So, hey, my boss is on the phone, so I gotta go
bring him on. Hold on. Boogie, thanks for San Francisco Chronicles WST podcast. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, fellas. See you.
All right, thanks. Should I have left him in?
You should have left him in and like roll it. He's good.
It's good.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, it's good because he's a Niner fan.
He's a stud.
Right. This episode's gonna be like an hour and a half.
No, I'm gonna cut down answers pretty quickly.
Whoa, K Boogie's good.
I know. Well, Jess was so long. Like I already hacked. I only hacked half of his interview, and it took me 35 minutes. So, right. But I'll keep it like
it'll be like 45 minutes, probably.
Yeah, the idea should be it's going to be. I'll try to piece together just like our standard answers, and we'll throw in some just random funny parts. Do you want to do a lead in now, or are you going to be able to be on Jess?
What time's Jess? Is it today?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, do we need to do we need to do a lead in for Kyle Madsen?
No, we're going to want to do a lead into the entire thing.
Let's do it right now.
Okay, who's going to be our Rams correspondent?
I am.
I think you should be.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Yeah, I'll be wearing my Niners hat doing the Rams.
You should get a little pocket protector with like a little pen and paper, or just talk about how you just got off with the NFL Fantasy Network. And no, we'll do that. But Jess is tomorrow at 11. I'm going to keep it short with her.
11 a.m. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can make that.
Come on, block it out as your workout time.
I got a call at 11. You're gonna have to go on without me.
Change it to tentative. Who's it with?
It's with OpenX, ad tech company.
Tell your guy that covers.
I could technically miss it because it's like a specialist is coming in. So maybe I jump on for like 1 minute.
Okay, that's fair.
I could probably be 5 minutes late.
Yeah, that's fine. We might have K-Win join us. Tell your guy that covers Box to get back to me. I'm trying to sell a ton of Isilon in the account and tell him he gets paid.
I don't know that guy. I just found him on.
You don't know him?
I found him in Salesforce. I don't know him personally.
You don't know him?
I don't know.
He wasn't at Chairman's Club with you?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
You haven't met him
maybe he's sat at another table.
You haven't met him in the omelet line?
No, I haven't.
No, I'll do Jess. But yeah, our lead in. And then can you record tomorrow night? Because I want to get this out probably Friday.
Whoa. I got football on tomorrow night. My Chiefs are on. I can record at 4:30. Come on, you want to watch that game, don't you? Char's a Chiefs fan.
Absolutely, I do.
Let's record at 4:30. I do want to watch that game. Let's record at 4:30.
Okay, that works.
Either 4 or 4:30. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And I'll just edit through the game. All right. What else do we want to do? We got to get more content out. You're right.
I think we're good this week.
Should we do Western Conference Finals preview?
Like early next week, maybe. Yeah, like Monday or something.
LA. K-Win. You should come on with your Clip shirt and your Lakers hat. Can't lose.
All right, I got to jump here. I got to check some email. Nice work. Good questions.
You too.
K Boogie's great.
That's good.
I'm not going to chop up Jess Rue just because he didn't show his video.
What do you mean?
I'm not going to put it on Instagram. I think they'll look stupid, right?
So that will look dumb. Just that little thing.
All right, I'm gonna put that on.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow at 11 or whenever you can jump on.
All right, sounds good. All right, later.